Right, I've just heard Maddison got injured against Newcastle in pre-season. Now, this could happen in any game. I completely agree. I made a comment on it on someone else's video. I don't know how it happened. And I don't blame Newcastle at all. And it's because apparently it wasn't anything to do with them. Fine. My point is, I think these Prem games, like, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, Spurs, especially Arsenal, Spurs, are not good for prep for the season because, yes, you can maybe study the team's tactics, but usually they're rotating players anyway. But people are saying, this is football, it happens, people get injured, and I agree, anyone can get injured. But at these times, from what I've heard from experts, I'm no expert, but these are the most pivotal times in terms of they can get injuries because you're just getting back to match fitness and you need to still take it a little bit easy because you're just trying to get back to that level. If you're not fully stretched, like 70% there, and then you overstretch for a ball or something, you can get injured. Whereas if you're at 100% match ready, you're less likely to. So my point is about the Prem games. It's a pre-season, so you're thinking, look, you still want to play well, you still want to win, you still want to put in the tactics, what the manager's saying, that's what you're trying to get in your head. You're trying to get in the tactics, trying to get back to fitness, not really the end result. And I'm not saying about the Spurs beating us, fair play, they banter me. I've got brothers who are Spurs fans and stuff. It's fine. I can take the joke. Ultimately it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, but at the same time you beat us, fair play. My point is, in the player's head, if they've got the right mentality, there's an ice cream truck in the background, they're thinking this is a Prem game. No matter how unimportant it is, in their head they're like, I'm playing against Spurs, I'm playing against Arsenal, I'm playing against Newcastle. Especially a team like Newcastle, they're quite physical, so they're going to leave a bit on it. I mean, I can't remember who it was, like Joe Linton or something, like almost like elbowed Max Dowman, and because they're a physical side, and you want to leave a bit on them or something like that. And the injury has nothing to do with Newcastle, but the point is, they're going to overexert themselves a little bit because they're going to be like, all right, I don't want to go full throttle, but also I'm playing Newcastle, I'm playing Spurs, I want to leave a bit on them, I want to win, I want to do this, I want to do that. And ultimately you're risking injury a lot more than you would against any other team. You play AC Milan or something, neither team's really, really going for it. They are, especially the young players will be, but the first teamers know this is not the time to be trying to absolutely go hung, what's it called? Go hell for leather. This is not the time for that. And it seems like Maddison's out for a while, from what I heard. I heard from a Spurs channel I follow. And yeah, rivals can be like, that's funny, how he's out for I don't know how long, let's say latest a month or earliest a month. Yeah, that's great. They're weak and that's great, but ultimately that just does weaken the watching experience. Like, quantity is going up, but quality is not going up, in my opinion. It's either staying the same or getting worse because players' fatigue is setting in. They're getting injured more, and therefore the league is worse. And if you're going for a title, Arsenal, Liverpool, City this year, last season Arsenal's injuries were great for Liverpool. Let's be honest. No one wished it. It happens. Our squad should have been better, but at the end of the day, Liverpool just walked to the league, and everyone said it wasn't as good. And the same with the relegation teams; they weren't as strong as Spurs came 17th. You're like, oh, were they close to get relegated? No, they were nowhere near getting relegated because the teams were so much worse. The gap is getting wider, and that's why teams are spending a lot more trying to get big squads because the amount of games is going up. Fine, but then adding in more rivalry games pre-season, like, that's great for teams and international fans. They get to see the game, but it's not going to be the quality of the Prem game, but also just adds risk in terms of getting injury, in my opinion. Like, does anyone else see this? No one wants to lose to your rivals, no matter pre-season or whatever. Yeah, as a fan, I don't care so much, but it seems like a lot of other fans do care, and they were melting down about Arsenal losing. Look, fine if that's what you want to think, but most of the time, a lot of teams lose pre-season, and they're fine in the season. It's just about tweaking and finding the best starting 11, the tactics that are going to work, weeding out players that aren't going to start, or trying to get money for them by playing them, showing what they can do, blah blah blah. It's all a test. It's all a pretest. It's all before the season starts. But yeah, just playing these games just seems unnecessary. And I feel for Spurs, maybe I'm a weird Arsenal fan, but because I have some Spurs family, I don't care so much about Spurs. I hate Man United and Chelsea more than them. But I'm just weird like that. But that's because they haven't really been a threat. But now they won the European trophy, maybe they're more of a threat. That's a little side thing for me. But, I do always want to beat Spurs, and I give it to them. But at the same time, it's just a pre-season match. But everyone's taking it more seriously, fine. But this isn't good. I don't think this is good. And a lot of people are saying quantity is going up of games. And everyone's saying it's football. They're getting paid a lot of money to do it. They should get over it. Fine, but just because you're getting paid more doesn't mean your body is better than anyone else's in terms of peak physical condition. Like, you're going to be having the best diet and all this sort of stuff, but your body can only take so much. We're all humans. Just because you're getting paid more, your body doesn't instantly get another 50% of give compared to everyone else. The technology's going up, but it can only go so far in terms of peak. People still get injured. You're going to get injuries, more injuries than a regular person because you're working your body so much harder. No matter how good the facilities are, the nutrition is, the therapy is, like the physical therapy. They have therapists for the mental side as well. Like, they have to push their body to the absolute limit, and it will affect the game. People are starting to burn out quicker. So people are starting when they're 17, 18, and, they're saying, like, they're running Saka into the ground, and this amount of minutes hasn't been seen in a lot of youngsters, and it can affect them later on. The only exceptions are people like Ronaldo, who's like a genetic freak by the looks of it, and his dedication is crazy, but I just think it's bad. This is a long video, but I really had to get it out there because I just really think that people need to understand what's going to happen with more and more pre-season like this. The Club World Cup, that's good for the teams because it's money. I get that, but it gave them very little break, and those teams are going to be affected going into the start of the season, which, you got the money for it and everything, but at the same time, they're going to be worse for the start of the season. They're going to have less rest than everyone else and less time to put in, new tactics or bed in the new players. There's just a lot of things I think is going to affect them, and that's why whenever I go into these games for Newcastle, Spurs, whatever, I'm just praying no one gets injured. Saka went down for like a minute or something. I was like, oh my God, please don't be injured. Gabriel's still injured from last season. Like, you don't want injuries in these games. They don't mean anything. Ultimately, fine, we lost. Again, banter us all you want for that. But just don't give me injuries. That's all I care about. And it's happened to them. And he's one of their starting players. Like, he's one of their best cam, basically. And people will say, again, injuries happen, you need to have a better squad. That's fine, but ultimately you can't help it if everyone gets injured. Yes, Arsenal needed a deeper squad last season, but when 2 of your starting strikers get injured for long-term injuries, what are you meant to do? You meant to have 3 starting strikers? No, of course not. You have a starter and a backup. A third option is never going to be as good as the first one, of course. Never going to be close to the second one, maybe, but even so, no top striker's going to be third choice. You're not going to have a good enough. We had Marino, who did well, but let's be honest, playing Marino up front, we were never going to win the league. And Liverpool walked the league because we just didn't have the squad depth. And that's why either teams need to be able to spend more overall with FFP, or there's going to have to be less games, or people are going to see more and more second string teams playing League Cup, FA Cup, and that's what you're going to have to do. Klopp went for all 4. He got 2 of them, like the domestic trophy, that fell short of the others. Maybe, and those players got burnt out quick, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he was just a genius. He was a genius, of course, but maybe he knew something we didn't. But he was complaining about the schedule. Everyone's complaining about the schedule, and yes, they get paid a lot, but ultimately, they're just human. You can't pay for more time on the pitch and more time in life, as it were. But yeah, I just had to get it off my chest because people are misunderstanding what I'm saying, and I think you really need to think about it, and I really don't like these Prem games pre-season, basically. That's my big take. Let me know what you guys think, because I think it's ridiculous, but that's just me.